As we get back to more unlimited hydroplane racing action on Lake Onondaga in Syracuse, New York, let's talk to a driver whose boat had to undergo some other repairs this week.
Well, the last race, Steve David here came back with half a boat. What happened?
Well, I guess the Termans were a little excited that a piston boat was next to him and kind of closed the door in a turn and blew off the back half of the boat.
Not only the back half, but I noticed that you had the whole side of your cockpit was gone. You look like you're out there riding a surfboard.
Yeah, it disappeared real fast. Once the water cleared and I realized I was still intact, we went ahead and finished the heat and brought it back. I didn't know the back end was blown off till I got to the dock.
Okay, now, what did it take to prepare it for this race?
There was 7 people working full-time 24 hours a day since Madison to get it together. Did a superb job. We went out yesterday and the boat's as good as it was when it was new.
We'll see how that boat does today in a few moments, but right now let's talk about the next heat. Miss Budweiser, Tommy Deeth driving. Oh boy, Alberto will be in it with George Woods Jr. Also the paddock pools with Jerry Hopp driving. Circus, Johnny Prevost will be in the pink boat. Sutphin Spirit, the U-66, Mike Hansen.
And that's the luck of the draw, as after Heat 1A and 1B, they redraw to see who their competition will be. And there are 3 turbines in it as they come down to start Heat 2A. On the inside, it is Circus, Oh Boy Alberto in the lane 2, and Budweiser right in the middle of the pack.
Budweiser already has moved forward, and she has taken over the lead one more time. Tommy Deeth coming out of corner number 2 onto the back stretch is power on as he throws that rooster tail high. Again, a challenge from Johnny Prevost in the pink Circus boat. This time he's riding it a little bit tighter. You'll remember he hooked in the last heat as he came out of corner number 2. This time he's power on and straight ahead.
Budweiser hangs it on the hook in corners 3 and 4 on the inside to your right. The pink boat Circus tries to sneak inside, but Tommy Deeth puts it to the pedal and comes down the chute to complete lap number 1. The speed 132.8.
And here comes Circus on the inside. Once again, Tommy Deeth looks to the left and he sees that boat moving up. He tries to power on. This time Circus is pulling him down the front straight. Deeth goes into the corner, holding the outside. He's got to be very careful about his lanes this time. Gets a little bit light going into corner number 2.
After they come off of corner number 2 and down the back chute. In lane 2, it's still Budweiser by about 3 boat lengths now as Tommy Deeth puts it down to the pedal to the metal, as they would say, and starts to move away.
Tommy Deeth has great confidence in the boat. He is really playing it strong out there. You can see he's hitting a little bit of porpoising action going into turn number 2 or corner 3 on this course. There's a good close-up look at that canopy of the Miss Budweiser. Tommy Deeth inside of there. This time Circus has dropped back just a little bit more.
I believe Tommy Deeth now has moved over to the lane right on the line and the inside. He had the room to do it, and that puts him in a pretty good position as the second place Circus will have to take some water on or move over to lane 2.
We remind everybody these are qualification heats. They're trying to get enough points to get into the final heat later on today. So really a first or second doesn't matter that much as far as getting into that heat, but they'd like to keep those national high point totals going, so they want to play for that. Here's the Oh Boy Alberto. This boat again just extremely consistent. He's had good runs all season long, and George Woods stays right with it. This time, though, Sutphin Spirit, back in 3rd place now, has not been the boat challenging. And you remember in the first heat of the day, Sutphin Spirit was right up there with the leaders.
And they've had some repairs. All the boats have this year. They've all been in the shop. They've all had to work extra overtime hours around the clock to keep these boats on the water and in good repair. Whoa! Johnny Prevost gets a little high in his right sponson.
That boat had a tendency to ride high early on. They've got it settled down in the water. That's the first time we've seen it pop quite that high, at least here on Lake Onondaga in Syracuse, New York. No problem at all for the Miss Budweiser or for the Oh Boy Alberto. Both of those boats are holding in very tight. There's a good shot of Jerry Hopp sitting high in the seat for the paddock pools boat.
The Miss Budweiser, 132.8 lap number 1, 129.078 lap 2, and 123.2 after 3 laps. So he's keeping his speed up there.
As he comes down on the back stretch, Tommy Deeth was telling me that he's hitting the turns at about 180 miles an hour. Remember, the speeds we give you are average speeds for the entire lap. Circus, the pink boat, the driver out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, riding in 2nd place, no longer challenging this boat, the leader, Miss Budweiser.
It's Miss Budweiser, Circus, Sutphin Spirit, Oh Boy Alberto, and paddock pools in that order. As they come off of corner number 4, I believe he'll come down for the checker flag.
Tom Deeth, who has brought this boat back after putting it over in Evansville, Indiana, had a scary ride upside down and landed literally on the cockpit at about 165 miles an hour, but he came out of it, and here he comes across the finish line, taking the checkered flag. Again, the crew down in the pit area very happy. Tommy Deeth in the Miss Budweiser, second place to the Circus, Johnny Prevost.
Wilbur and Murray Heights, and their computer says 126.2 average speed for the 5 laps for Tommy Deeth and Miss Budweiser.
You can tell that we're getting down to the nitty-gritty now as these speeds go up in these heats. There you see a good shot of the Circus boat, John Prevost. He's second place, and I think happy again. That's 2 seconds on the day for the Circus, 2 firsts on the day for the Miss Budweiser.
That'll get them both in the final, and the third place boat is a Zutphen Spirit with Michael Hansen.
And Michael had a second earlier today with a third. That should also move him up into the final heat, which will be happening later this afternoon.
The water conditions have improved here. The Miss Budweiser, average speed 126.2 in the last time out. When the water was rougher, it was 117.5. So you can see the water conditions and the wind are steadily improving here at Onondaga Lake. As we look at our second place boat, John Prevost in the Circus. As the haze hangs over the city of Syracuse, New York, here in Onondaga Lake, there's our point totals. The Miss Budweiser leads all with 800 points. Now let's go down to the happy pit area of the winning owner.
Well, Bernie, so goes a perfect start to a good day.
Well, it sure is. We've had a perfect week, and setting new course records with the Miss Budweiser, and then running 132 mile an hour laps out there in that 25 mile an hour wind and stuff here on the lake. We're very happy, and good Lord's looking out for us certainly this week, and I think maybe we'll come into victory circle when I think we're past due.
Well, you're looking for it, that's for sure. Now, you look at weather out here like this, you've got to be almost more concerned than the driver is, because he's not fully aware of all the things the boat is looking like out there.
Well, that's true. He took a very high dive here in his first turn on his first lap, and but we have put some things on the boat to correct that, and he works those, operates them manually, and so he can do about whatever he wants to do with the boat, and he's keeping it glued down, and that's where we want him.
High speeds and more excitement coming up on the HFC American Hydroplane Series in just a moment.